The United Nations World Food Programme has been operational in the Gambia since 1970, playing a lead role in fighting to end hunger nationwide and ensuring food security. It spearheads activities that aim to identify and support those who are most food insecure and vulnerable, and to build resilience against future vulnerabilities. World Food Programme assistance to the Gambia started in 1970 with a community-based school feeding project that aimed at increasing enrollment and completion rates, maintain attendance rates, and reduce dropout rates for the development of the educational sector. This project has reached over 178,000 school children in selected rural and urban primary school, early childhood development centers, and madrasas. World Food Programme has since expanded to provide humanitarian assistance in partnership with government and other development partners, well as the donor community, to provide food aid to communities that are faced with devastating impacts of high food prices, natural disasters, and climate change. Maudo Amari Jallo is a government representative working for the National Disaster Management Agency.
Government actually is the partner or the mainstay that actually declared an emergency in March of 2012, declaring crop failure, and that was based on a report that was written and published by government, the findings of which revealed that 19 districts of the 46 districts of this country have been hard hit by as a result of poor rainfall leading to crop failure. Now, as a government, after we launched the appeal, we mobilized our partners to mobilize efforts towards responding to the situation brought on by the crop failure. Now, the governing council, disaster governing council, decided to establish a national task force and eventually combine the Food Security Council and the Governing Council to constitute a national task force, which of course involves our key partners, including the oversight institution. That is, when I say oversight, I mean the UN system. Now, WFP principally was identified to mobilize resources on behalf of government.
In response to the severe impact of crop failure in 2011, World Food Programme, with the support of donor contributions, launched an emergency operation which provided food assistance to 201,000 people, including more than 37,000 children in the most affected districts of the Gambia. This cash transfer, which is supported by United States Agency for International Development, Office of Foreign Disaster Assistance, is an extension of the emergency operation.
Currently, the World Food Programme is responding to the government request in terms of the crop failure that affected more than 400,000 small farmers. So with the support of different donors, so the World Food Programme is providing support to approximately 200,000 beneficiaries in 19 villages or 19 districts in the Gambia. So currently we are also undertaking what it is known as cash and voucher program. Is part of the emergency response. So it is the first time that the World Food Programme is providing that kind of assistance. So based in the specific studies that were made, so Tumana and Jimara in URR were selected. So we are covering 20,000 recipients with cash, meaning that instead of providing food, we are providing cash. So you will ask me why the World Food Programme is providing cash. So based on the studies, it was shown that in the Gambia, we have conditions to put in place cash instead of providing food. And cash is the choice of the beneficiaries themselves. So providing cash, you are empowering the recipients so they can buy the kind of food they want, because the World Food Program usually provides rice and oil. But with cash, the beneficiaries, the families will buy whatever they want in terms of commodities, including even fresh food, vegetables as an example. No? And on the other hand, it is also the government interest. So based on the interviews at the different levels, so the government agrees that cash is much faster.
This particular cash activity is integrated into an existing EMOP operation. We're now in the final stages, and the pilot was specifically designed to replace food distribution in the last 2 months of the EMOP operation, which is countrywide. So it will be in essence for the months of September and October. When we set about this, obviously cost efficiency was a very significant criteria, i.e., was it more cost effective to give cash rather than to transport food? And some of our rice came from Brazil, and all the logistics and manpower and etc. that involved. When we run the figures, and before we came to site, we already knew that it was more cost effective to deliver cash than food compared to food. So from an organizational point of view, from a World Food Program perspective, and indeed from the donor perspective, the money that is being used, we're adding value all the way through the value chain itself. Well, there have been a number of hurdles to overcome, but thankfully we haven't been stopped up the fence. We've managed to overcome any difficulty we have up to this point. Of course, when you get to this point, you're always filled with a certain degree of intrepidation, because you don't really know how it's going to operate when you get down to dealing with hundreds of beneficiaries on site. But thankfully, today's experience is working out quite well.
Our partner for this exercise is Concern Universal, having regard to their experience in this area and their ability to use operational partners such as National Association of Credit Unions of Gambia in the delivery process.
We've done a number of cash transfer programs before, usually integrated with other DRR, disaster risk reduction or relief work, and so it's not new to us, but we haven't done something on this scale before, so I guess that's what's exciting for us, to really look at a large-scale cash transfer program. We had a number of projects in other parts of the country. We're actually doing a small cash transfer activity in West Coast region, and we've done some others with Nakug in the past. For us, we're really pleased to be supporting cash transfers as a way to put more money into the local economy, and I guess give people the ability to make their own choices about how they use the money they receive. So I guess for us, we feel it's a better strategy than provision of food, and we hope that this experience will bear that out.
We are representing the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, and we have been partnering with Concern Universal in the disbursement of funds to the families of disaster. And this is a very good initiative this time around. It's between NACUG, Concern Universal and World Food Program. It is a very good initiative because NACUG's main role is a financial institution, non-bank financial institution, and the main role is also to transfer cash to affected families, because that's how we are registered. And we have been doing this for a long time, and we are also very happy to be part of this initiative because it's also helping people.
Cash transfer, which kicked off from Bakadaji, attracted more than 200 households from these satellite villages. Many traveled early in the morning before the arrival of the team. Beneficiaries, using their national identity documents, took part in the needs assessment to ascertain the greatest need. Some of the recipients could not hide their feelings after receiving their cash transfer.
I came and found money here, and there were no hindrance. I have received $2,576. If you have rice at home only, your problem is still not solved. This is why we are today collecting money. And with this money, you can take care of your family needs, including school fees and health care.
My name is Khadijatu Sarenjobu. Sarenjobu is far from here, and you have to come on foot. If you have no one to help you, you must have to go and look for something to feed your family. I'm happy, and I'm thanking you.
The team wrapped up late in the evening before heading to Basse. The next day's activities would take place in Gambia. The team arrived at Gambisara on the second day with more people on the waiting list. A similar exercise is conducted in an off-road 5-kilometer village of Gambisara. Many could not go home without expressing their happiness to World Food Program.
I thank God and you. I am going to buy food. My husband is blind for 10 years now. I am the hustler all these years. I didn't rely on anyone. My husband begs for living. I thank Allah and you.
My name is Muhammad Ali Sankano. I am the Alcalo of Sotuma Sire. I thank government and WFP that brought us this assistance. You have really helped us. Last year, there was a complete crop failure. I got $2,575. I'm going to buy rice and give it to my family.
Sandikunda, which borders CRR and URR, was another recipient village to receive the cash transfer across a number of local sites. Communities from these 3 sites were left with smiles on their faces, as well as their families.